Anchor Software presents how to create a pie chart. For this tutorial, the user will learn how to create a pie chart, insert in information, and draw a pie chart graph. Click the Graph Editor button. The Create Graph window opens. Expand the Graph Type option to select a graph type. For this example, we are going to select the 2D pie chart. Expand the palette options to select a color palette for the graph. For this example, we are going to select color for the palette type. This means the pie chart will have color options. Expand the quality option. Select Medium for the quality print mode. Enter in a comment for the graph in the comment field. For this example, we entered in "This is a 2D pie chart." Select the Display Legend checkbox. This option displays a legend to the right of the pie chart. Expand the vertical position option. Select Center to center the legend vertically with the graph. Expand the horizontal position option. Select Center to center the legend horizontally with the graph. Enter in a percentage size for the legend. This is the percentage size compared to the total size of the graph. For this example, we will enter in 25. Click the Create Graph button. You'll notice that a blue box will appear to the right of the screen. This eventually will turn into your graph. Select the Data Elements tab. Now we are going to enter in information to appear on our pie chart. Enter in the value of 3 in the Input Field/Value field. This means it'll be 3 pieces of the entire pie. Enter in a description for the Label Text field. For this example, we will enter in Texas Fans. Expand the Fill Color option to select a color for the Texas Fans to apply to the pie chart. For this example, select Green to apply to the Texas Fans. Click the Add button to add this item to the pie chart. As you can see, Texas Fans have been added to the pie chart. Now we are going to apply another element. Enter in a value of 2 in the Input Field/Value field. This means it'll be 2 pieces of the entire pie. Enter in a description for the Label Text field. For this example, we will enter in Oklahoma Fans. Expand the Fill Color option to select a color for the Oklahoma Fans to apply to the pie chart. For this example, select Red to apply to the Oklahoma Fans. Click Add to add this element to the pie chart. The pie chart has now updated to contain 3 pieces of the Texas Fans and 2 pieces of the Oklahoma Fans. Now we are going to add a third element. Enter in a value of 1 in the Input Field/Value field. Enter in a description for the Label Text field. For this example, we'll enter in New York Fans. Expand the Fill Color option to select a color for the New York fans to apply to the pie chart. For this example, select Navy to apply to the New York fans. Click the Add button to add this element to the pie chart. Now you can see one element has been applied to the pie chart to represent the New York fans. Next, we'll go to the Titles tab. Select the top title text box to add a title for the pie chart. For this example, we will enter in Football Fan Gear. Select the bottom title text box to add a bottom title to the pie chart. For this example, we will enter in Total Sales. Select the left title text box to add a left title to the pie chart. For this example, we will enter in First Quarter. Select the Up Radio button to determine the direction the text will appear next to the pie chart. Select the right title text box to add a title to the right of the pie chart. For this example, we are going to enter in Monthly Sales. Select the Down Radio button to determine the direction the text will appear next to the pie chart. Select the Colors and Fonts tab. Expand the Foreground Colors option to select a foreground color for the top title text. For this example, we will select Red. This will apply to the Football Fan Gear title. Expand the Background Color option to select a background color for the pie chart. For this example, we are going to select Light Gray. Expand the Size button to select a font size for the top title. For this example, we are going to select a font size of 14. Expand the Text Item box to select a different text item to apply a font attribute to. Select the Other Titles item. Expand the Font Name field to select a font. This font will apply to all the other titles. For this example, we are going to select the Arial Rounded Empty Bold font type. Select the Advanced Options tab. Select the Omit Labels checkbox to omit the labels Texas, Oklahoma, and New York, if desired. Now you can see the labels have been removed from the pie chart. Although for this example, we'd like to keep them, so we are going to reselect this option. Click the Close button to close the Create Graph window. Click the Insert Graph Frames button to draw a graph frame. Draw a graph frame by pressing the left mouse button and dragging the mouse to the desired size. The graph will automatically appear in the graph frame. Thank you for watching the How to Create a Pie Chart video. For more information on graphs, please see the MaxDesigner user guide.